Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to share today with you again. If you guys ever wonder, like, why is Anne doing these videos? Honestly, I'm not trying to be famous or anything. I just think a lot of people don't have time to do devotionals or listen to sermons that can be 30, 40 minutes. And so I want to, bring the Word of God in 10 minutes. And to be honest, it's actually ministering to me more than it probably is ministering to you. I find myself like remembering the things I'm talking about when I'm going through trials, and it's reminding me of who God is and what I'm preaching. I need to live it. So I hope it is blessing you as well, though. And today I'm going to talk about something that I think is so important, because we all face trials. Nobody is exempt from trials, right? Because Jesus says, in this world you will have trials, but take heart, because I have overcome this world. But some of our trials seem so hard, and whether it's a death in the family, a betrayal, an illness or a scary diagnosis, or even just something as simple as a hard day with your kids or financial hardship, whatever it may be. Sometimes those things take their course to find a resolution. So in the meantime, how do we find joy in the midst of that? Because are we supposed to just say, I don't see it, I don't hear it, it's not there? I mean, it's there. It's real problems. And so I want to look at the definition of joy versus happiness. Hey, Uncle. All right, because they're not the same thing. Joy, let's go back. Happiness comes from our circumstances. So if something is not going right, I'm not happy. If they are going right, then I'm happy. But joy is not dependent on external circumstances. So even if things are not going very well in your life, there are real problems, real trials, you can still have joy. And when I do go through trials, I'll be honest, I have to grieve it. There are times where I just want to cry and I want to pout and I'm sad, and that's okay. We're human, but I've learned to not get stuck in the grief, because when you get stuck in it, then you can really end up hurting yourself. And God is so good, because when he gives us his word, he knows that pain and sadness is going to cause you health issues. He says it in his word. Check this out. Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. He knows. He doesn't want you to suffer. He doesn't want you to have health issues. He says, be of good cheer. And so whatever it is that we're going through, we just have to remember to not get stuck in the grief. What I do is I welcome God into my situation. If I'm going through a trial, I say, God, I can't do this alone. I need you. And I'll look up scriptures about my trial, and I'll use it in my trial. And I'll just remind myself, God, your word says you will never leave me or forsake me. So I know you're with me and you're going to see me through. Your word says in Romans that all things work out for the good of those who love him, who love God. I know you're going to work this all out for my good. And so it's just replacing those thoughts of like, this is never going to get better, with the word, with truth. And I have this plaque on my wall, and it says on it, it's from Nehemiah 8, chapter 8, verse 10. It says, the joy of the Lord is your strength. Now I want to dissect this verse a little bit, okay? Because it's so good. It's so powerful. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Okay, if you take out the words of the Lord, it says the joy is your strength. When we are joyful, we have strength. But when we're whining and complaining and sad or depressed, we lose our joy. We not only lose our joy, we lose our strength. So God is saying, I want to give you joy. That can only come from me. And with that, you're going to have good health. You're going to have strength. And so what I want to encourage you is that to call out to him in the midst of your trials. And My most intimate moments of worship have been in my darkest days. When my heart was broken, when I felt abandoned by my pain, it was just so great that all I had was God. That's when I started to understand God's true nature and how He's the only one that can get me through these difficult times. I love this verse. It says, Psalm 16:11 says, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." I have tasted this, my friends. I have actually experienced so much joy and peace in the midst of my greatest trials because I know with Jesus I can overcome anything. And so this verse is just, this should be my life verse actually. You make known to me the path of life, my purpose in life. And in your presence there is fullness of joy. And at your right hand are pleasures forevermore. So I just want to encourage you guys, when trials come, and they do, it doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's going to go away quickly. So what do we do in the meantime? How do we find our joy? And I find myself when the trials come, when I do the why God, why are you allowing this? I'm almost putting my fists up at God and saying, I don't trust you. Why are you doing this? I don't trust you. But when I say, how do you want me to handle this, Lord? Give me strength. Give me your joy. Help me get through this. That's when God gives me this power, and He gives me His joy, and He gives me His strength. And so with our choice to be joyful in Him, He gives us good health, remember, strength, and true joy can only be found in the presence of God. I hope you were blessed today. I wish you guys a wonderful day. If you need prayers, I'm here for you. I got your back. See you next time.